But before that, when Lee Anderson defected from the Conservatives to become Reform UK's only Member of Parliament back in March, he declined to hold a by-election.
Little did he know his constituents would be going to the polls soon enough in just 24 days.
Well, over that time, we're profiling a number of key constituencies across the Callander region. Tonight, it's Ashfield in North Nottinghamshire, where our political correspondent, Charanpreet Kera, has been talking to voters.
The fight to take charge of Downing Street will be won or lost on streets around the country, including this Downing Street in Sutton in Ashfield, where I meet some of the voters who'll pick the winner. A short back and sides for Dan, but which side will he pick on the 4th of July?
Keir Starmer.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon so, yeah.
But some people have been saying that Labour aren't doing enough to commit to policies. What do you think of that?
To be fair, who's doing great?
A few doors down, Resgar doesn't think politics is going great either. Most parties launch their manifestos this week, but he fears they'll put the brakes on as soon as the campaign is over.
Before they come on power, they advertise, they manifest, they say, oh, we can do this, we can do that, we're going to create jobs or cutting taxes. But once they come on power, that's it. Just like Brexit. Promised a lot of things, but nothing happened.
Just across the road, a stone's throw from Resgar's workshop, the seat of power itself. This is 10 Downing Street. There's actually another one of these. It's about 120 miles south of here in London. The incumbent in Ashfield, Lee Anderson, used to be in and out of the other Downing Street when he was a Conservative minister. Then he quit and went to Reform UK. Now that's raised some eyebrows because well before all of that, he was actually a Labour councillor. So you work on Downing Street?
I do.
Who do you want to work on Downing Street in London?
I haven't made my mind up yet.
Lee Anderson.
Really?
Yeah.
As Prime Minister?
Yeah, because I believe that he's true to his word.
True to his word, even though he's moved party 3 times.
But he's still true to his word.
Not entirely happy with the Labour Party as it stands. I'm significantly less happy with the Conservative Party.
A range of views from the voters we came across, but the most common view of all, scepticism that any politician can change things here. What's it like living on number 10 Downing Street?
Comical, that's what I'm going to say.
Who would you want to get the keys to the other 10 Downing Street?
I'm not very political. If I was to ask my mates of my age, no one would really have a clue what we're going on about, and they'll just say I'm not really bothered.
Right, Stuart, so this is number 8 Downing Street.
8 Downing Street. This is the living room of 8 Downing Street. Identical to next door. I don't think you'll ever find Prime Minister living in this. To be honest with you, it don't really bother me who gets in. I don't think it's going to affect people up here who does get in down there.
Politics clearly isn't everyone's cup of tea here, but that doesn't mean they don't want to see things change. At the bottom of the street, our final stop. Mr. John Salon has been on Downing Street for 50 years.
We've been doing this for a lot of years, haven't we? I wouldn't like to count.
When it comes to consistency, that's a cut above politicians.
Here in Ashfield, what do you think people are most concerned about?
Cost of living, I would say. Cost of living, NHS, state of the roads.
Doris has changed her hairstyle a few times over the decades, but she hasn't changed who she votes for.
So you're convinced that the Conservatives would be the best for after the election, and why is that?
Is it a habit? Now, after all these years, I don't know.
From potholes to payslips, voters in Ashfield have just a few weeks to decide whether to trust what they know or put their faith in new management.
Well, Charanpreet joins us in the studio, and there were lots of different views there, weren't there, on Downing Street in Ashfield. Did you get any sense of which way the polls might be heading?
It's actually really hard, Lara. I mean, we spoke to so many people, but that's by no means a comprehensive survey of the area. The name Lee Anderson did come up a lot, but in part that's because he's a controversial figure, he's vocal, people remember that name. Now, Reform UK are, of course, a relatively new party, so will that translate to votes? Until 2019, Labour had a 40-year winning streak in Ashfield. That was broken. They'll want that back. So everyone wants a piece of Ashfield, but lots of the people I spoke to were undecided or said they weren't even going to vote.
So, of course, the thing is, every party wants to win over the undecided voter, don't they? So how are they going to do that, Sharon Preet?
Well, Ian, it's Manifesto week and the Liberal Democrats were first to launch theirs today. They seemed confident that it'll attract Yorkshire voters.
There are parts of Greater Manchester, rural Mid Wales, parts of Scotland we're going to take on the SNP, parts of Yorkshire. You know, we actually are the only ones who can beat the Conservatives in so many seats.
So what are some of the key policies that the Liberal Democrats have put in that manifesto? Well, you heard Resgar in my piece from the MOT Centre talking about Brexit. Well, the Liberal Democrats are actually saying that they would rejoin the single market. Not many politicians keen to talk about Brexit these days, but they're brave enough to do that. Another one is rail. So the Liberal Democrats say they're going to reinvigorate Northern Powerhouse Rail. That would improve the lines, electrify the lines to Sheffield and Hull. So very important for our region. Now, more of those manifestos will come out throughout the week. Conservatives Tuesday, Labour on Thursday, and we will bring you updates about their key policies as and when they come out.
We will indeed, and we'll be looking at some more constituencies as well as time goes on. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank
and
you.
Here is the full list of candidates standing for the Ashfield constituency. Of course, it's just 3 weeks and 3 days until polling day on Thursday, July the 4th. And polling stations will be open from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock in the evening. But do remember that you'll need to take your photo ID with you on the day. If you're not registered to vote, you have until the 18th of June to do so.
In the